You know, sometimes I talk a lot of shit. Well, I actually talk a lot of shit a lot, as in like almost every single fucking video. But this time I want to get something out there, and it is that Rehab Room has been 100% vindicated. The video he made about the Oofy Doofies United was spot on, was not only a correct prediction of like how people vicariously live in sports teams or whatever, some kind of like shared cause to like cause violence and mayhem and shit, but also like how they're just inside like these very broken ass people that like you can't necessarily divorce them from that. It's like a very it's kind of like, and I don't think he phrased it like this, I think this is how I interpret it. It's like how drug addicts are, dealing with withdrawal and shit. Like they get very agitated, they get very, whatever. And yeah, we've seen with not only like these various sports games. So let's talk about like the big one, which was the France one, which led to basically a war zone in France with like, pro-Palestinian protesters. And they came out apparently again for the Knicks game, the Knicks victory and shit in New York, because like Mom Donnie is a Muslim fuck. It's like, yo, I support the death of Jews and the rape of all these like people and shit. These are like really sick fucking twisted ass individuals and shit. But not only was Rehab Room right, like I write this guy off and I say like, oh, he's this rainbow individual or like this or that. He's like, no, actually, I think he has lived experience and he understands his people and he understands other people. Like he sees through that like, bullshit persona that people push onto themselves and like, sees the dark true side, the black pill as he would call it, or like as it is called. I don't know if he created it or if like it was a creation done by like, a collective group of people. Now, that being said, we also have to talk about, yes, the New York Knicks game, which again, more or less the same, people coming out. And like there's videos of people attacking Spurs fans, like people wearing Spurs jerseys, like the opposing team basically in that game, and like beating them bloody, ripping off their jerseys. Like it is fucking animalistic and it's just dumb. And again, Rehab Room was vindicated, like 100%. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? Like I'm looking at this and I'm like trying to explain, like think about it, like comprehend like the sheer stupidity of it all. Like I understand people have like a very strong affinity to sports teams and sports games and yada yada, right? But like to get on a level of this violence and shit, like yeah, you can get vindictive and like insult somebody for their taste in team or sport or whatever the fuck, all right? Then that's normal. In fact, that's to be expected. It was to make sports, edgy, yo. But then, like, to get like physical, it just shows like why I personally think certain people shouldn't be reproducing, right? Yeah, it's a real fucking eye opener, you know. Because we also have to talk about like the other sports teams that nobody really wants to talk about. Yeah, that's right. That's right. The actual sports team that everybody plays on, like whether they choose to or not. And I'm talking about the race team. Everybody wants to play on the race team. You're on the brown team, the Indian brown team. You're on the Arab team. You're on the Jewish team. You're on the Asian team, the Caucasian team, the Russian team, European team, American, Canadian, whatever. You know what I mean? Everybody's like picking up all these teams and shit, right? It's like a very us versus them mentality type shit that was born out of necessity due to the fact that we were all lied to about equality, you know, equality in like, I guess opportunity and stuff. especially opportunity. Like when you realize that the cell phones that you buy come from a class of people who are like they work like manual labor but get paid like basically nothing, and the prospects of their life are so bleak that they contemplate suicide. So like the company puts nets and like things that prevent them from like jumping off of buildings or whatever, hanging themselves and shit. Like yeah, and then like also like people mining for your stuff. And then like you have to specify these are conflict-free diamonds. These are conflict-free gold or whatever. It's just so silly after a while when you realize that like yeah, the idea of equality and like equal opportunity is not only a myth, but it infringes upon your intelligence after a while because now you're basically giving people with absolutely no chance at life, basically, a shot in your country. You pay for it, and how do they repay you? Oh, that's right. We'll just like stab your people, we'll rape your women, we'll fucking try to overthrow your elections, we'll try to like get your kids to like indoctrinate them and all that shit. It's a fucking war zone now, and Rehab Room has like basically predicted it because again, much like the sports teams, like people who play for these race teams and shit, right? Like you see this a lot too, like a lot of these like, war mongering preachers and shit. Like on every single side, like it just seems like a fucking product of the vindictive soul to have like these very ugly people and they're like, okay, this is what you need to do in life. I'll show you the way of this religion, and we'll fight against these non believers, these people who insult our religion, and we'll be so supreme, we'll be glorious over them and stuff. And, like, yeah, I can understand to an extent a little bit of pride in your religion. Like, I had that growing up too, right? And even though, like, I outgrew it and I understand now what's more important, like, I understand that also there are people out there who will never be able to give it up because it's just, whether it's forced upon them or more importantly, and this is the sports team aspect about it. It's like it's all they got, dude. It's like it's like they don't even like sports, but they root for their religion. They're like us versus them type mentality. They tally up the numbers. They keep a score every year. They look at every single war, every single conflict, every single news report, every single thing, and then they like try to like draw comparisons. Kind of like how I do, except I just like make fun of Sikhs all the time. But like, yeah, the sports team of race is very much, one of those things that like people have to like wake up and realize that like, yeah, you can like your religion, you can like your people and stuff, but like you're part of the human race first. And like this bullshit with your religion, with these people from a country that like, maybe your parents or whoever came from, like nah, at the end of the day, yeah, fuck all that, man. Like the human race does so much more together with like the amalgamation of like progress and the future than it does like these past like ideals. Like we gotta carry like knives for protection. It's our warrior way because we're warriors. Yes, and then we train our little kids to, like stab like female women and shit, and like abort babies and shit. Like wind up in the hospital and be like, yo, I don't feel so good. I'm suffering like life threatening, whatever. And now I gotta get rid of this baby. It's gonna kill me. Just throw it in the garbage. So you gotta stop playing for these teams, because this idea that like, and especially, I think, and I don't mean to like be offensive by saying this, but I have to be honest. I think that Caucasians got when it comes to overall. not like say in general, but like overall, like when it comes to the optics of it, they got the short end of the straw in the sense that they have a lot of their own people turning on them and turning against them, and like this isn't like an unnatural phenomenon. Like you have people from all races that have, you know, even me, like who have like a large critique of their own like ethnicity and like you know their own people, religion, etc., etc. Right? But like with white people, it's a critical mass thing, so it's gonna be for them something that like they have to, you know, actually start playing for their own team. You know, rehabroom was right. The Oofy Doofies united. You know, but they'll unite against you, and then they'll turn the entire world to the Oofy Doofies. All right, holla at your boy Rehab Room. Yeah, sorry about that rainbow videos and shit. I'm just